And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight? Guys, we finally made it back to the season. It's been a while. We missed week one. I guess you don't really need week one. You just drafted your team. But week two, we're here again. A year later, finally we get to do this again. We're doing start sits, pick'ems. In the meantime, I'm going to wait for people to come in. This is something that I know I loved doing last year. I love to see the participation out of you guys as fans last year, and hope we get to do the same thing this year.
Dude, we had so much fun with these last year. Start sits were a blast. So as we let people come on in, we're about a minute into the podcast. We're just going to prepare for this because these can get rather hectic rather quick. So, Ryan, before we get started, let's go to real life for a minute. We leave for your bachelor party next Sunday. Are you excited?
Dude, I'm kind of. I got five work days left until vacation. I'm pumped. Yeah, super excited. How you feeling? You good over there? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. We are driving down to Florida. I'm excited, man. For staying in Claremont. Excuse me. I say Claremont.
I got my first leaked information.
So. I'm ready to go, baby.
Oh, I'm hyped. Yeah, I can't wait till next Sunday. It's going to be a hell of a job. We're going to get there. I've got our first question in, though.
We do. But before we get started, I have a question for you because I'm in a little bit of a tough bind here. So big work league, big SCI work league, Dynasty League. We just started our Dynasty League over at where I work. A lot of new people to Dynasty. Obviously, I'm not new to Dynasty, but I'm in a tough spot. I'm stuck between three players in a triangle where it's the two lowest projected games on the slate points-wise. So you got Pittsburgh and Denver, Seattle, New England. So I'm deciding I need two. Start two. DK, Pickens, Najee Harris.
Pick two. Oh, what's up, Alex? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be
Alex,
on a whole different podcast, brother.
Yeah, getting ready for the pod. Getting ready for the personalized pod. So, yeah, pick two between the triangle. DK, Pickens, Najee.
I mean, I hate to say it. I don't know, dude. These are two flex spots you're filling, I'm assuming?
Yeah. So, right now, I'm starting DK and Najee. Again, Pat Surtain is one of the very few corners that get to go one-on-one, man-on-man coverage against most of the teams.
That's what I was going to say. Either way, it's tough because Pickens has Surtain, and then you got on the other side, Christian Gonzalez is on DK. Just take the lesser of two evils and start DK and Najee. Yeah. I don't love any of it, to be honest with you, but
yeah, I don't either. But I have a lot of room to play with. I have a 60-point projected win ratio because the dude had Tyreek Hill and Tua.
All right, DV Severe's in here waiting for us, though. So we got full PPR, Amari Cooper, Cook, or James
wide receiver. I'm assuming Brandon Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks. Oh, okay. Jesus, I was trying to figure that one out. My bad.
Or Javonte against Denver.
Or Javante's against
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Against Pittsburgh.
And then, hold on. Browns are playing. Who are the Browns playing?
Browns are playing the Jags. On the road. Cooks is at New Orleans. Or at home against New Orleans.
Jags played it pretty rough on defensive side. They gave up 400 yards last week.
Yeah, I'm going with Amari Cooper here.
I think Amari Cooper's the answer. I know Deshaun Watson looked rough, which is the only reason why I wasn't like immediately saying Cooper to start with. But I just had to check what the Jags did last week. Brandon Cooks, I'm going to call it a fluke, and I'm not 100% sure on Javonte just yet.
Yeah, Cooper's my pick here.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the next question. My bad. Full PPR.
So Jay Williams,
JSN, or Brandon Cooks.
I'm assuming we're talking about. I mean, we could be talking about Javonte Williams or
Jamal.
See, that's the thing. Is it Jameson Williams, Javonte Williams?
I don't know. B-Mac in here from Twitter, though. While we figure that out from DV, would
Yeah.
you risk going with AJ Brown or start Charbonnet? I have no other Monday players. Honestly, if I'm honest, I don't know if you're playing on Sleeper, but they do have an auto reset. So I would just plug AJ Brown in your flex spot and then put an automatic substitution for Charbonnet. If you're not on Sleeper and your commissioner doesn't allow that, that gets real tough. I mean, I think you're just going to have to pay really close attention up until game time. I think I'm starting AJ Brown straight up, but that does come with risk if you don't have that feature in your league.
I'll be honest with you. The Sleeper app does not allow you to switch in between games. One's on a Monday, one's already locked on your bench on a Sunday.
Oh, shit.
So
Yeah,
would you
you're right.
risk going with AJ Brown or starting Charbonnet? Honestly, Seattle is at home against New England. Can someone teach Ryan how to pronounce Charbonnet? I'll be honest with you, man. The AJ Brown situation is weird.
I always say it, Alex. I've told you this before.
The AJ Brown situation is real weird for me, just due to the fact that we have a limited practice session Friday. Yeah, we got a limited practice session Friday with no practice session Saturday. It's really, really 50-50 in the air. I'm gonna say you start Zach. I would start Sharps.
That's such a tough call.
I would start
It's a lot
Sharps
easier
here.
to do both on Sunday, but
yeah, I know it sucks sitting AJ Brown, but this might be the week. It's a really tough call, though.
But right, so back to DV.
So we got one. So we know it's now the Denver running back. Okay. So we got Javonte automatically out for me. Jaleel McLaughlin automatically out for me.
I think it boils down for me is JSN, which I don't love. Honestly, any of these options are rough. I'm hoping this is a deep league for you. I think out of those, it's probably JSN. I don't expect Brandon Cooks to be slighted for touchdowns week in, week out. JSN is going to be eventually, when the Seahawks figure it out, should be a decent sized part of this offense. So
I'll be honest with you,
with any of the Denver running backs. Honestly,
I'll be honest with you. With the injury to Jake Ferguson, I'm definitely going to go Brandon Cooks here.
Hey, we're split on that one, my boy.
I'm gonna go Brandon Cooks. Yeah, Mac, no problem, brother. Definitely worth it. Appreciate you stopping in. So as we go through it, let's just let's give some of our we got another one. Ramondre, Zay, or DK PPR.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier. Patriots draw the Seahawks this week.
Patriots draw the Seahawks.
I think I'm going Ramondre in this situation.
I also am leaning Ramondre. Yeah. I'll tell you, the game on Sunday.
That offense last week. Obviously, he's running that whole unit.
The game on Sunday was really impressive. 120 rushing yards, 108 came after initial contact. Excuse me. Forced 12 missed tackles last week. He looked healthy. He looked fresh, and he was dominating.
Yeah. I won't say Zay Flowers, although didn't get and turn into a whole lot of yards. He did get peppered with targets week 1. But it's still Ramondre for me.
I believe Zay only had 6 targets.
Yeah, he caught 5 of them.
Yeah, I know. But I just think you take the guarantee. I think you take the guaranteed touches here, in my opinion. I
think it's Ramondre. Yeah.
Honestly, I believe the Ravens could blow this game out of the water very quickly. I really do. They are playing Vegas at home. The bank is a tough place to play football. Ramondre, It's like I said, it's the lowest. It's one of the lowest projected point slates on the total, but at the same time, it's only a 3-point spread. I believe this game is actually going to be closer than most think. Ramondre should see 16 plus touches.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Ramondre.
Yeah, and then George down the line, DJ Moore or Zay Flowers, non-PPR.
Non-PPR.
Ooh, that changes things.
Man,
I was gonna say Zay because at least he's gonna get peppered. I'm kind of like, honestly, I hate to say this already, but until Caleb Williams can prove something, I mean, he looked awful week 1. I don't know if I'm comfortable starting any Bears receivers until I see something out of Caleb. If I'm honest with you, it's not worth the risk.
Dude, the game, man.
They had 148 total offensive yards last week.
Yeah, me and you had talked about this. Me and you had talked about this. And week 2, for Chicago to have any shot to win this game, they got to put points on the board.
Well, that's the only thing they have going for them.
And realistically, you have a Dunze who's out, who's week to week with the MCL sprain. You have
Keenan's hurt as well,
dealing with the heel injury. I think he'd go with the more guarantee. I think he'd go with the more experienced guy. I got to go with DJ.
DJ Moore. I think I'm with you. Texans gave up 4 touchdowns last week. We got to see some of that, especially if he's the only one out there. Like, I know there's a shot that Keenan Allen plays, but I don't know. I think if you, especially in a non-PPR, if you're starting Zay Flowers, you're kind of dependent on a touchdown for your production, at least what we saw from week 1. Which isn't impossible, but I think I'm going to go with this will be a hopeful bounce back game for Stroud. He's got a chance to do it against the Texans defense. Just gave up a ton of points, so
I'm looking at your question. 1 second.
What's got going over there, big dog?
I didn't want to lie to this guy when it came to this. So, because the Bucks, so I just want to make sure I wasn't like fully incorrect here. So if I remember correctly, Bucks are one of the toughest defenses in the league against the run. This is what it is. They're also they do very well against the pass. We're in Detroit. I know Detroit is a different monster. They are a different monster when they play in domes. I know they have one of the best offensive line units in the game. Tampa's tough up front. They always have been over our tenure of doing our fantasy football content creation. They're very tough. So you're banking on 90 rushing yards from the Detroit Lions, Gibbs over 40, Monty over 50. I'll be honest. I think Gibbs's overall production is going to come in the passing game. I really, really do. This week, I really do think the passing game is going to be key for Detroit. I'm not sure how heavily reliant the run game is going to be in this game.
We're talking bets here, baby.
Yeah, we're talking bets.
We're talking bets here. My boy is
the 40.
He's just like me for real. Nah, I fully think that they can. I don't know where you're getting this whole thing from. The only argument that I have for not liking that bet, if I'm honest with you, is they're able to play their offense the way they want to. Like if they take their run out, they could just pass to Monroe and Laporta. But we saw 2 efficient running backs. I think they can both go for 40 and 50. I mean, they were a force last week. You figure it'll be the same thing this week, given this is a game where it was the Jameson Williams show and Monroe is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but they were a force against a team with no Aaron Donald, no Ernest Jones, and last year they were 24th in the league against the run.
I don't hate the 40 and 50. I'd be more trusting of the 50 from Monty than 40 from Gibbs, if I'm 100% honest.
Honestly, dude, Gibbs is going to ball. I think Gibbs, if he's going to have a big game this week, it's in the receiving game. Yeah. I really do. And it scares me to say that. If you're making this bet, I'll be honest with you, this bet doesn't sit right with me.
It is tough to bet on the same backfield twice. But
It is. It is in
yeah,
the same backfield. Yes. Could you? I don't know, an underdog, if you can do a combined overall rushing like number for both of these running backs and like kind of split it, like maybe not 90, but let's go with like 70
I don't think
combined.
you can do that.
I don't know
Anyway,
how
moving
underdog
on.
works. We don't have underdog in Delaware.
Yeah, Chris Godwin 5 catches. I like that. Jameson for
Love
3 catches.
Godwin.
I like that.
Love Godwin.
Yeah, I'm
I
okay with
love
that one. DV. That one looks good to me.
love Godwin. In the slot, Godwin 5 catches should be in the slot. 5 catches should be an ideal number that you want to hit for Godwin. It's JJ 5 catches. San Fran. I don't know, man. This is a tough week. I have a bet in on this game too. I have a bet that Sam Darnold goes for under 250 passing and rushing yards.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know, man. San Fran's tough. San Fran's real tough, dude. JJ 5 catches. This game could be over early. Real early.
It could. Although if they're playing down for the most game, you'd imagine they're probably passing the ball.
It's
So
a negative game script for Minnesota for sure.
yeah,
It is a negative game script.
because they're going to be playing down for a good amount of it. But that's all that's really going to do is lead to turnovers for Sam Darnold.
Rashad White, 13 rushing attempts. See, but that's the thing. When we were talking
That's
about
a solid line, man.
it is a solid line.
Vegas cooked that one up, man.
It is a solid line, but here we are. We're now talking about Detroit, whose best part of their defense was the run. We now incorporated Bucky Irving into the system last week. Bucky saw some solid production in the backfield last week, really cut into his workload. I don't know what they're going to do. 13 rushing attempts seems way too low for a Rashad White. It really does.
He had 15. He had 15 last week.
It kind of feels like a trap bet, to be honest.
It's a trap. Vegas knows about Bucky with what we do. It's only 13 though, dude. Like what? Like who are they playing?
They're playing Tampa, or they're playing
Detroit.
They're playing Detroit in the dome. I don't know how game script's going to go for this game.
I don't hate 13. That's kind of a tough game script to project, though.
I don't know.
Like, obviously, you can look at the other game we were just talking about and say, hey, they can be playing down, so they can be throwing the rock all game. That makes sense to me, but...
Yeah, I don't know how game script's going to be depicted here for Tampa. It's the highest point total of the week. It's 51.5 points is the over-under.
CD, 100 yards.
Worthy 5 catches. Honestly, I don't like that number for Worthy.
Nope. All right. Take a quick break from the betting world real quick and wait for a couple more of these like start sit questions coming in.
Yeah,
listen, I love you, but I'm not about to win you money on your underdog all night.
Worthy, I'll be honest with you, I will answer these next 2 questions.
Yeah.
Worthy, I do not love the 5 catches. Flowers, I bet him at 4.5 on the opening night of Thursday, and he ended up with 5. It just depends, man. I think 6 catches is like right on that cusp of what I would and wouldn't bet for Zay Flowers. I feel comfortable at 5, 6. You know what I mean? Once you get
more
to 6,
traps
7,
with the lines.
yeah.
And then CD 100 yards. I like CD more than JT, to be blunt. I don't know where JT really was in that first game, but
well, they were down 14 to start the game, so it did play out. He only had, I want to say, 10 carries. I like JT against the Packers this week. I'll take the 90 on that.
Oh yeah, it's the Packers. I forgot. Yeah.
CD,
okay.
100
yeah,
yards receiving.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's gonna be ugly. Good.
CD, 100 yards receiving. That's a high number to bet, my man.
There's a high number.
That is a high number. Realistically, remember CD last year averaged just a little under 100 receiving yards a game. Game script did not play into his favor last week. No. Saints. I think Lattimore is questionable to play.
At this point in his career, I don't know if it really matters.
I'll say this. Let's go Froggy. Let's go CD over 100.
Under 100,
Over 100. Let's get
over
CD
100.
rocking. Let's get CD
No
rocking.
problem, DV.
Let's get CD rocking.
But to get to
Oh, I'm
more
sorry.
like,
I'm sorry. We missed one from BMAC. BMAC, I apologize, buddy.
oh, sorry, B-Mac, my bad. Twitter goes to the top for some reason. I apologize.
Which one would you sit for Jordan Mason, Adams, Olave, Diggs? Olave.
Olave.
And I don't love Diggs either, but Olave.
Honestly, I think you can say any of them in place for Mason. You really can't go wrong.
Yeah. Really, I mean, realistically, the target there.
Until CMC gets back, start him at any cost, if I'm 100% honest.
Yeah. We had discussed this the other day. The target share was pretty even over there in Houston. Again, I don't expect to see Joe Mixon run 30 times. But with that being as even as it really was touchdown dependent for Stephon Diggs to have any kind of fantasy relevancy. I don't love that. I don't expect Stephon Diggs to score every week. It seems like Nico is the big play guy there. Nico's making plays happen down the field consistently. He's the only receiver to go over 100 yards last week. I'm not sitting Devontae. No, I'm just not sitting Devontae. It's because it's Devontae Adams. It's Olave for me.
I think it's an immediate gut reaction is Olave. I think he's been general like a disappointment for the past 3 years. I mean, he's has games, but for the most part,
yeah, it's Olave for me, dude. So we're gonna let more people come in, and we got 116 people in here tonight. So do you have any start sit questions for yourself? I know me and you haven't really talked much this week. We got so much going on.
Not really. But I was gonna ask you. I had one, but I'm not gonna sit here and go through all my leagues. I got too many leagues to go through. But to get more like a real life thing going in this whole podcast while we wait for questions is like, what do we think of the whole Tua situation?
It's time for Tua to go, man.
I think so too.
I hate to say it.
It's tough. It's been a big subject of discussion on Twitter, players, fans, all over the place.
His wife,
true, coming out making a statement saying he wants him out. I think realistically though, even if he does retire, I think he probably finishes this season. It would be. I mean, is it the right thing to do to retire today? Probably. I mean, he's got guaranteed $90 million of his contract he signed a month ago, which feels dirty to do with the Dolphins. But, like, at some point, you have to look at your life going forward when your kids are older and all this and think, do I want to be in the right mental state? I mean, we see all this all the time. Players just, like, as time goes on, start to kind of lose it up there. And I hate to see it.
Well, remember too, man. Remember what Tua was to the Miami Dolphins organization. He was a first-round draft pick, top 7 draft pick. He's the first one they've had, in a long time. He was replacing journeymen like Jay Cutler, Ryan Fitzpatrick, etc. The list went on and on. He added something exciting to this fan base. You brought in Jalen Waddle, the Bama boys, and it was just fun. You know what I mean? I know over the last couple of years, you've seen them start out really slow, and they've kind of fizzled out towards the end of the year in the playoffs. You guys haven't gotten what you wanted out of the whole situation. Ultimately, it was a Super Bowl. I get it. But Tua's been a bright spot for the Miami Dolphins organization.
For sure.
So, with that being said, I think you take care of a player like that. I know he has guaranteed money in his contract. I know his family's going to be taken care of for life with that money.
Yeah.
But the big thing is what do you do for him when it comes to his health? Medical. Exactly. You can offer the full-time medical for him for life. Players have that built into their contracts, things like that. Just take care of the guy. I mean, we always saw the awful hip injury at Alabama. Rough. I can't remember if it's 4 or 3, but I want to say 4 concussions in the league.
Yeah.
That's a rough number to have, man.
4, and the bad part is it was back-to-back games last year. Well, he should have never been cleared. I think across fan bases, maybe other than Dolphins fans, most of everybody was like, okay, we know Tua probably shouldn't be in this game. And then what? In the second quarter, he got concussed again. So
Yeah.
I think that's when he should have started questioning it. And I think with him locking up like that, if he sees that video, he's got to at least think to himself, like, hey, is it time?
Yeah, I mean, I know football is different now.
Well,
So,
then I was
but
going
then
to
you have
say,
like Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, I want to say, had like 7 diagnosed concussions, and
yeah, but I was going to say, is look at the other side of it. I've seen like Tua say in statements like before or after his last 2 concussions, was kind of like has the mentality of I've worked too hard to get to this point to just throw it all away. And I kind of agree with that. Like, you can't imagine the hours and hours and years it took to perfect his craft just to
yeah,
throw it away because of some concussions. But
right.
I
How
think,
many lefty quarterbacks have we seen have natural success in the league?
yeah, exactly. And it took a couple years for Tua, it did,
Steve
but
Young,
now that he's clicked with
Vic.
McDaniels, he's on fire.
Who are we talking? Steve Young, Vic, Boomer Esiason. You know what I
Boomer,
mean? I mean, we can keep we can keep
Warren,
going.
no. Was Warren Moon lefty?
No,
No,
he was a right-handed quarterback.
no. Who am I thinking of?
You know what I mean? The list is very short-lived, guys. Should I handcuff Jordan Mason? Magariano would have to drop right to do so next waiver period. No. No, you don't need to do that. Actually, I think Jalen Wright's more of a priority hold, especially with how easily this Miami
Fragile.
Dolphins backfield tends to go down. They're very fragile.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson was questionable going into the game. Jeff Wilson lost, he left the game. You had Raheem Mostert who didn't play, and we all know Raheem Mostert is bound to miss games. Last year was one of his very few healthy years in the league. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. I actually think Jalen Wright's more of a priority.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to, for me, the better talent is right in my mind. Because you think about it, they kind of use their running backs in the same way in either offense. So at that point, it comes down to a skill standpoint. I think I'd rather have Wright behind A Chain and Mostert than Garano behind CMC and Mason. I think just ride out Jordan Mason if he gets hurt, God forbid. But I think I'm holding Jalen Wright.
I also don't like handcuffing handcuffs.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels wrong.
Yeah, it feels so wrong because at the end of the day, hopefully McCaffrey is back at some point and he's
No,
healthy.
I think he's on IR now, so he's got at least 4 weeks of being out.
Right.
So,
But when they said calf Achilles, it did scare me. It really did.
yeah, as soon as I saw uh Achilles, like anytime you see that word associated with the running back is scary times. That's why I was so surprised he was going to play week 1. He didn't end up playing week 1 anyway, but like,
Right.
yeah, it's
How
just
the
Achilles is something
timeline
you can't play with running backs, and I think they're going to take their time.
right. How the timeline changed so quickly though. We had him questionable, limited in practice all week. He's going to play. He's going to suit up to not playing an hour before game time to apparently knowing he wasn't going to play all along. Jordan
Yeah.
Mason had to start to now he's on the IR. The timeline for Christian McCaffrey was so weird. It's been the weirdest thing in the San Francisco 49ers organization to start.
Yeah, I think they're being investigated for it if I'm correct. As far as not reporting the injury.
Yeah. But like I said, don't handcuff a handcuff. No reason to do it. We got 140 people in here with us tonight, buddy.
Came and went, all of them. Man, I hate that the Twitter questions go to the top.
Does it?
Yeah, they go immediately straight to the top.
Oh man, I got to check that. I got to make
Yeah.
sure.
No,
'Cause
we're good. We're
most
good.
of our
Last
people are
question
coming.
was BMAC.
Most people are coming from Twitter or from my
YouTube.
Twitter, but yeah, YouTube
Yeah.
questions are popping off. So I had another one. I have AJ Brown in the Warrior Bowl, which really, really sucks because now it comes down to me starting Jacoby Myers. I don't have another share of the Eagles passing attack wide receiver wise. And you have to start 3 wide receivers in the Warrior Bowl.
Yeah, no choice.
But I do got Mr. Cooper Kupp.
There you go. You're good then. Don't worry about it.
Got Kupp, Godwin, AJ Brown. So, and Jordan Mason as a priority waiver. The team is ready to rock.
Do you not have such a terrible time? Like, I really don't want to sit AJ Brown, man. It's tough.
I'm also not taking a guaranteed 0.
True. What is the injury for?
Hamstring.
Okay. Someone say he's just resting. Not worried about my Pookie.
Felt a little tightness. I don't know, man. I have no idea. I think you just take the guaranteed
points. I mean, even if he plays, you'd imagine he's probably on a snap count, kind of like Jamar Chase was week 1.
Right.
Yeah. We're not getting any questions in, so let's talk about some matchups, I think, in my mind, that are favorable for fantasy matchups. I would start off with Kansas City at Cincinnati. Or excuse me, Bengals. Chiefs are at home. I apologize. I'm a big watcher on this game. I mean, last week Chiefs gave up 452 yards. This is a perfect setup for Joe Burrow to bounce back. I think this could be a shootout game, and you can get some ton of points from both sides.
Yeah. So I have this as one of those matchups where, like I said, Joe Burrow left a lot on the table last week. Like I told you, the Gesicki touchdown bobbled in the end zone. The ball stripped at the 1 yard line. The rollout to Andre Ilyasova was dropped for 40 yards. There's a lot of points left on the table for Joe Burrow. I'm not saying the Bengals look great by any means because they didn't. But this matchup always means more to Joe Burrow. This matchup, no matter how they're playing, is always heightened. If you were to tell me Joe Burrow goes out and throws for 303 touchdowns, doesn't shock me one bit.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a big shootout game. Anything else for you that stands out as a positive game?
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins against the Panthers.
Oh, we're talking about specific players. I mean, I agree with that one.
J.K. Dobbins against the Panthers. That really stands out to me as well.
Panthers gave up 180 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns last week to the rush, which sets up perfect for J.K., who ran all over the place last week.
Also, Najee in Denver. Really liked that. Really liked the setup to that.
Stack Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin.
Well, this does have the highest over-under on the point slate for the week. I really do believe this is going to be a big game shootout-wise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting Godwin everywhere. I have Godwin in a lot of leagues. I'm starting him. So naturally, I'm going to roll with Baker, depending on who your other QB options are, because I do have Matt Stafford over Baker this week. I have a couple guys over Baker, obviously, but Stafford's one of those waiver wire guys / fringe guys that I like a lot this week as well.
Yeah, Guns Cutter is a pretty good matchup for him too. But yeah, I mean, I say so too, especially in this game. Now, game in, game out, maybe not, but this game in specific, these teams are going to put up a ton of points. Godwin's probably a great start. My other quarterback is Joe Burrow. So, now, like we just got done talking about it. I guess you just joined in, but we were just saying every year, every game that Burrow gets a chance to play up against Mahomes, he does not waste it. I think it's going to be a big scoring game over there in Kansas City. I think start Godwin, but I would probably start Burrow over Mayfield.
It's hard to sit. It's hard to sit Joe Burrow, man.
Are you over here doing deep breaths like you didn't just say that you would start Matt Stafford over?
I would, but I also really like Stafford's matchup. I really like Stafford's matchup. It's really hard to sit Joe Burrow, man. I do think that there was a lot of negative nepotism around Joe Burrow in this aspect. People were talking about him picking up a fucking water bottle wrong.
Yeah. Can you believe he was asked that question
That
in
question's
media?
crazy.
Yeah.
That question is crazy to me, man. And like I said, there was so much left on the table from Joe Burrow. So much. It really, really made it look like a day that he had an awful day, and he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, threw
They
a
left
few bad
14. They
throws.
left 14 points on the table. They really did. 14-17, if you want to count it up correctly. I'm always starting Burrow in this matchup. I'm gonna go Burrow. I'm gonna go Burrow over Baker.
Yeah. And then
London or Marv?
Solid question here.
I'll be honest with you. On
Who duds
primetime
last
Sunday,
week?
on primetime Sunday night, I hate this matchup for Drake London. Hate it.
We were about two white cornerbacks. Who would have thought that?
I hate this matchup. From what I saw from Kirk Cousins the other day on Sunday, I hate it.
Yeah. Also expect a little bit of a bounce back from. I saw a stat between Burrow and Baker Mayfield. The only reason Jake Baker. Hold on, let me get to this question. London or Harrison? I think I have to go Harrison here. I don't love that the Eagles' pass rush is pretty solid, and Kirk Cousins can't move back more than 5 feet to the left and right. So I guess I'm going for a bounce back Harrison game. They're facing the Rams this week. How they do against the pass game last week?
Who? The Rams?
Rams. They gave up 200 yards on the dot, which is in the higher end than a score. I think Harrison Jr. over London.
We got to remember. You remember too. Look at the passing attempts. Look at the rushing attempts. The Lions ran the ball down their throats.
True.
So I'm going Marv.
I'll
be honest with you. This isn't the same Rams defense that we've come to.
We're used to.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Marv. I saw a stat between Burrow and Baker. The only reason Baker had a better game is because the receivers ran after catch. Also, too, I believe Burrow only attempted 2 passes over 20 yards. Baker Mayfield attempted like 6. So they were looking to push the ball down the field. I really believe the Bengals came in with a conservative game plan. Chase was limited.
Yeah.
No T. Higgins. A lot of young guys. No Tyler Boyd anymore. No Joe
Trying
Mixon.
to figure out that backfield. I think it's just chalk it up as a mess week 1.
They know what they got in front of them.
Yeah.
And nobody in the North wants to start 0-2. So
I think with a full Chase and maybe a weekend from this change of offense, no Joe Mixon hurts a little bit. Obviously, you saw that week 1, but as the season goes on, they'll work it out. And like I said, the Chiefs matchup and Joe Burrow is like they always clash. I'm not worried about it.
I really, really, really would love T. Higgins to be playing in this game, though.
True. What do we think is a better flex pick? Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, or Tyler Lockett? Tough question. I don't hate Lockett. Until I'll say the one I'm tossing out the door is McLaurin. I need to see Jaden Daniels push the ball downfield before I start any Redskin or any Commanders players healthily. So I guess it comes down from me, Worthy, and Lockett.
The weird part about the Commanders team in general was that Austin Eckler led the team in
receiving yards. He had 53. Yeah.
So, but you were playing the Bucs on the road. You now get the Giants at home. The Giants are terrible on the road. They're 1-7 in their last 8 games on the road.
No, we're bad. It's true.
I will say though, Jaden Daniels was 0-3 of throws 20 yards or more down the field last week.
He wasn't an efficient passer.
He really looked rough
Period.
in that area. Yeah. I'm going to go with Worthy.
Worthy, I think, is my gut answer.
I'm
I'm
going to go
trying
with
to back in
Worthy.
my head if I think Lockett's going to have enough opportunities for me to say, hey, go out there, start Worthy. I think Worthy going forward is a solid, like, if you got him late, it's probably a home run. I mean, we went from Hollywood missing, 6 weeks to now the whole season.
Yeah. Whole regular
So,
season.
I mean, he's going to be involved in this offense. Andy Reid's going to draw up plates for him. They didn't spend a first on him for nothing.
Yeah, but then again, me and you talked about Worthy. Is there enough design plays in this offense for Worthy to be relevant? It feels like Worthy is touchdown or bust in certain aspects because I just don't think the target share is going to be consistent enough to be there week in and week out for him. But in a big game like this, I'm going to go Worthy.
I think it's Worthy too. This is a big scoring game. I'm going to keep saying that and watch. I say all this stuff about this matchup, and then it's going to be like 34-10.
Laporta got offered to give Laporta for Ramondre and Goddard. My running backs are JT, Javonte, Bucky, Benson. Ooh. I actually think that's a really sell low for Laporta.
It's a sell low, but I see why he's being offered that. His running backs are, outside of JT, concerning. I just don't think I could do it. I'm just like, just for clarification, is this redraft or is this dynasty? Before I answer this truly, Mr. Marco.
Yeah, if it's dynasty, no shot.
If it's dynasty, I'd hold. If it's a redraft, I would.
It's redraft
PPR.
Oh man. See, I told you that Laporta, it wasn't worth the ADP in redraft.
Yeah.
It really, really, really puts you in a tough spot because you need Laporta to be as good as he was last year. And how good was Laporta? It was the lowest tight end one finish in a points per game basis in a long time. Laporta was one of those weird players for us.
My cute quarterback is Jordan Love. Our receivers, Marvin Harrison, DK, Chris Godwin, Diggs, AD Mitchell. Laporta fell to me at the fourth round turn. Two flex, two receivers, one quarterback. Is there no tight end slot needed? That's scary, dude. I think I'm taking Ramondre in this situation, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I know that means that I kind of bank on him to be that guy for this offense. But the thing is, one tight end slot.
I'm back. I apologize.
There's two of you now, so that's fun.
My Wi-Fi went wonky for a minute.
Okay, well, I see two of you, so there, it just fixed itself finally. Back to, I was just saying, I think, like, low key, we need to get past this. There's so many questions coming, but I think I might lean Ramondre, if I'm honest. I know that means that you're kind of banking on him to be this consistent in this offense, but he might be the only functioning part of this offense for a long time while they work things out with Drake May not starting and Jacoby Brissett at the helm. I kind of want to say Ramondre here.
Two Stevens. Alec, my Wi-Fi went wonky for a minute. I'm saying I'm keeping Laporta. You can't draft Laporta.
Really?
You can't.
Okay.
I'm keeping Laporta.
We're split on that one.
Jordan Mason or Josh Jacobs? Jordan Mason.
I think Jordan Mason's probably a priority start going forward while CMC's out.
Although I do think Josh Jacobs deserves a spot in your lineup this week. Colts have over the last
I'd love to know what your other flex spots look like because I think Josh Jacobs against the Colts, who just gave up over 200 yards rushing, is probably worth starting as well.
Yep. Wide receivers are Wilson, Adams, Ayuk, and Worthy in a 3 wide receiver league. Would you go for upside and start Worthy over Ayuk? Just worry if Ayuk is limited again. No.
I think it's worth the risk.
Ayuk.
Yeah. Ayuk was very close to having a big game last week. He just couldn't get his other foot down the end zone. So.
Yep, you have to start Ayuk.
Godwin currently. We're starting Godwin over Josh Jacobs in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm starting Godwin.
Wow.
Hold on. Timeout.
We're breaking this team down good. I think I'm starting Josh Jacobs over Godwin.
I'm starting Jacobs over Godwin too. But
I
I
feel bummed
like
there.
Godwin, man. I like Godwin.
It's just Colts are bad against the run. The only thing is there's no Jordan Love playing. So like, what is this offense really going to look like?
Yeah. I'm not trading Laporta though. I'm
I'm
not.
going back to Godwin. Going back to Godwin. Keep Godwin in there.
I'm going Jacobs. We go Jacobs over Godwin.
I think it's just touchdown dependency, man. Like they're not going to do a lot on offense.
AJ
PPR.
Brown, Zach Moss, Xavier Worthy, pick 2.
Confused on infrastructure bet on AJ Brown.
I'm not betting on Brown playing, man.
That's so
I'm
tough to
really
say.
not.
Like your number one, like round back end 1 or second round pick. Like
Yeah, I'm not betting on AJ playing.
tough scene. Monitor that closely, Andrew. But if it stays the way it is right now, I think from like a winning standpoint, you don't want to risk a 0 in
Yeah.
your lineup on Monday. I think sadly you have to go Moss and Worthy unless there's like a confirmed thing that AJ Brown's got like a 75-25 compared to a true 50-50 split right now.
Yeah. Good thing is with these two players here, you have until 4:25, so you have a couple extra hours to hear if anything comes out. Neighbors or flowers? Neighbors.
Mr. Neighbors over here.
Neighbors.
Neighbors or flowers?
Neighbors.
Yeah, sure, I'm for it. I mean, we saw him outproduce Zay Flowers week 1, as it is. So
He said, "Get me a fucking quarterback."
yeah, he did for real. I don't know. I think Commanders are very, very, very mid on defense. So I think if Daniel Jones has any chance, it's one of these games against the Commanders.
Get me a fucking quarterback.
For
Yeah,
real.
Malik Neighbors does not lie. Ladies and gentlemen, Malik Neighbors is that motherfucking dude.
I agree with him too, by the way, just for the record.
Is Dotson a spot play of AJ? No.
No.
That is a Hail Mary play right there,
Yeah.
especially with the snap percentages we saw Dotson play last week. I know it obviously increases with AJ Brown not on the field, but no.
Yeah, I think Devontae would take the bulk, obviously, and then ride Barkley. Hurts might rush the ball more, and then Goddard, who still got targets last week. I don't think Dotson's worth the risk unless you have like a really, really weak flex, and then if that's the case, maybe. But outside of that, no.
Flex 1, Worthy or Dobbins, full PPR, but you get 1 point for first downs. Wow. So here's the issue. So I will say that Dobbins is a priority start for me.
This Dobbins.
He only has 10 carries last week. And he was averaging over 13 yards per carry. He looked really good last week, though, man. And Gus did not look good.
Gus did not.
Carolina. Also, no Derek Brown. Derek Brown,
possible. Yeah, Carolina just gave up 180 rushing yards, 2 scores last week. The Chargers' plan is to run the ball. They ran the ball,
I'm going to go Dobbins.
23 to 24 on pass play, or 26 to 24. Excuse me. I think it's Dobbins.
Yeah, it's going to be Dobbins for me as well.
Although this has to be one of the lowest. 1 point for first down, I think that can go a long way for Dobbins as well.
That has to be one of the lowest projected points totals on the week, right?
What? Panthers, Chargers?
39.5.
Yeah, it's got to be down there.
We're at what? We were at 37? Where are we at? 36.5.
36.5. You want to call it at 55 minutes?
Yeah.
You guys want to get any more questions? I'm going to go for 5 more minutes, and we're going to head out of here.
Also, just talk about this. So let's talk about some more, like another matchup that I really like here.
Yep.
In certain areas, like for certain players here. Big fan of a bounce back week. I know you said you want to see him ball. Here's your chance. Breece Hall balling. this week. Balling.
Brees Hall, balling. That's your baller of the week, baby.
Balling.
I hope so. I told you last week, somewhat disappointed. I know he played the 49ers. Whatever. I don't care that much.
How can you say a guy disappointed against a top 3 defense and he had 18 fantasy points? How's that a disappointment?
I don't make the rules.
He had 20 if he didn't fumble.
Well, maybe you shouldn't fumble the ball. No, 18 points isn't bad. I'll just give you a hard time. I know you have and always will be a huge Brees Hall guy, so I got to take jabs where I can.
I'm the biggest Brees Hall fan you ever
I know. Oh, trust me, I know, brother. I know it all too well.
Dude, I don't know what happened to my Wi-Fi, but it went crazy. JT 2+ touchdowns this week. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. This game could get ugly for the Packers. So
the only thing I hate is how volatile those two are to each other in the red zone between Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. It's so volatile, but it's so fun to watch in real life football. But in fantasy football, it can really go either way.
Yeah.
Did you see AR?
You have to get to the
AR score last week from 6 yards out where he drugged the DB for 3 yards.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Nah, I was gonna say if they can even get to the red zone. I mean, the way Anthony Richardson was throwing the rock last week, they wouldn't even give him a chance. It was deep ball after deep ball after deep ball.
He had 9 completions for 200 yards.
I know, that's what I'm saying, dude.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, obviously it worked, but good Lord have mercy.
JT 2+ touchdowns this week. I like it though. Start to. Ooh. Actually, this one's pretty easy for me off from the start.
Debo Mason.
Yep.
Trust 49ers offense.
Trust.
Yeah. Keep it pushing. Jaden Reed, no Jordan Love hurts. DJ Moore, I think we need to see more out of Caleb Williams before starting him comfortably. And then Tank. I mean, that whole between Tank, Collins, and Diggs, it's rough week in, week out.
Yeah.
I think you go with the guarantee.
I think Debo is the biggest beneficiary here. We know how Kyle Shanahan loves to use Debo in multi-versatile roles. I think Debo for the next 4 weeks. I know Jordan Mason's going to get a lot of love. Fine. But Debo should be getting more love.
Yeah. Trust Shanahan, man. Honest to God.
Are they on the road against Minnesota or are they at San Fran? I want to say they're on the road.
They are in Minneapolis.
They are.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Start 3.
Rice, Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Chase,
Neighbors, Charbonnet. Thanks, guys. Start
okay.
3.
Chase.
Garrett I think I just go down the line. Rice, Wilson, Chase.
I don't know, dude. I know Rice. I know they're a safe place. I really think Neighbors is going to go off.
Yeah, but thinking and knowing, you know what I mean?
I know. And I do really like the way the Chiefs have integrated Rashee Rice into this offense. He is like the Amon-Ra St. Brown of this offense. It's really cool to watch, and he's been playing really well. I think you have to start Chase. You never sit your first-round guys.
Nope.
This is the matchup that he lives for. This is his favorite matchup of the year. I know, obviously, L'Jarius Sneed isn't there anymore, but Garrett, for sure. Garrett had 11 targets last week.
Yeah,
it was just a really tough game.
It's going to click eventually. Yeah,
it's going to click. So Chase, Garrett, Rice.
I think you just don't. I just don't overthink this one. I think you just start Wilson, Rice, Chase, keep it pushing.
Devontae over Ayuk, yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, this week I always go back to just monitoring the AJ Brown situation. Always, but I mean, I think if he's out, Devontae is a solid play.
Devontae was a solid play last week.
Yeah, he was.
Devontae in the slot is going to do damage. Yep, Devontae over Ayuk.
I'm still so depressed about. We're at the 55-minute mark. Anybody want to get any last minute questions in before we head out? This is going to give it like 30 seconds. If there's nobody here, then we're going to dive.
We're gonna get 12 questions.
We're going to get 6 questions in the next 5 seconds.
I love it. I love doing these. Love doing
No, I do
these.
too. It's just get gassed out after a while. Plus, half these people might come back and hate us after Jordan Mason gets hurt in the second quarter. All right, we'll call it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You guys came out tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you for making us a part of your night. Per usual, we hope we help you guys out. Steve, got anything for the people before we head out?
No, just another Saturday of start sits. Love it. Gotta love it. I'm excited. Oh, hold on. We got one. Got Adams in 2 leagues, so I just want to say, Stash, you better give him 10 targets this week. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem, Jonathan.
Yeah, no problem, man. Can't sit Adams, man. You just can't sit Devontae Adams. So, again, always here for you guys on start sit week. So thank you. Alex will be live on Sunday. I know Bruce and Brett are doing a start sit on Sunday as well. A lot of people from Yards Per going live tomorrow. Other than that, that's all I got for the night, baby. We'll see you guys next week.
time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week for a podcast. And on that note, fellas, we're out.